Have you been injured? Hello! Hello! I'm attorney Holly Feldstein. Have you been injured due to someone else's negligence? Hurt in a car? At the work site? At your kid's little league game? If you're injured by a foul ball, if you're injured at all, give Feldstein a call! 1-800-555-FALL.
If you're wondering what that was,
Hello!
that was a video. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Shawn Patrick Greene. I am the executive producer of the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival that has been going on since 2015. And I have since then finished 5 festivals. I don't really say that I'm an expert on anything. All I can say is that I have some insight as to what's going on at this point. Now, I'll get into myself maybe a little bit later. I do want to have some people on the call or on the video with me, video chat. But I put the blast out on the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival website. And I also have put it on a new page that I've created. That's called Christian Filmmaking with Shawn Patrick Greene.
Hi.
So we have all kinds of options here.
Hi.
Yes, my daughter Mariah is with me.
Hi.
She's pointing to her movies that she's watching, and it's called it's India. All right, so she's watching movies from India. Anyways, the mug that you see on the screen right now, for those who are watching live and anybody who might be reviewing this later, the guy's mug, his name is Carl Miles. And I'll explain why I have him and his video on the screen in 1 second. But in the meantime, listen to this. If you can't hear the audio, I will figure that out later, but check this out.
Hello! I'm attorney Holly Feldstein. Have you been injured due to someone else's negligence? Hurt in a car? At the work site? At your kid's little league game? If you're injured by a foul ball, if you're injured at all, give Feldstein a call! 1-800-555-FALL.
All right, so there is my buddy, Carl Miles, ladies and gentlemen. That is a gentleman that I worked with. Hello, Shawn Patrick Greene. This is my inaugural podcasting. I am working on producing quality podcasts like Isaac Hernandez has, and we will get to that point in a minute. I don't know how long that minute's going to be, but just stay tuned. I got glass glare, so that doesn't help, but I'm going to do my best to not be showing glass glare, and I'm staring at this webcam on this laptop of mine. So I have other equipment, but I just don't have anything set up, and I have a lot going on, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But first of all, I just want to thank you guys for all the people that have submitted films, all the people who has been a part of the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival over the years, and for people who not only believed in our organization over the years, but also, for the not only the organization, but all the films that were submitted over the years too. All the people that have just shared their talent, not only with myself and our team, but also with the other filmmakers actors, actresses, writers, and everybody that's blessed our event with their presence. Just really grateful. India, really grateful that we have participants, people that are enjoying it, and people that see value in what we're doing. I'm trying to see what's okay. I got Yardstream is our platform right now, just so everybody knows. And that's not an advertisement ploy for them, but that's the platform we're using for this podcast. And I do want to emphasize that this particular show or segment is about Christian films. And however you feel about this format or this kind of content, um, I'll leave that up to you to decide how you want to react to this. But the point of this series of shows that I will be producing over the next couple years, hopefully, but certainly in the next couple months, is to make sure that there's a good overview and perspective on what a Christian film is, not necessarily what a Christian film isn't, but what a Christian film kind of is, and what to expect out of people who make Christian film. Does that make sense? Is that okay? Now I know it's a little dark, and I'm gonna try to change all that in the future. But right now, this is the podcast. It's gonna be recorded, audio and video. So we'll have an audio version of it for people who are audiobook types. But just keep in mind that we're looking for quality guests, content, and things to review. It's November 16th, 2019. We're almost finished with this year. And kind of recap a little bit. Great Lakes Christian Film Festival 2019 was a great event. As a matter of fact, we had, I think I overdid it. We had more awards that were offered to be winning than I could keep up with. So some people did not get their awards in their mail yet, and a lot has happened as a result of that event till now. Now, for those that don't know, I had a return to finish a college degree. I'm getting my bachelor's in media studies. The concentration is film production, as opposed to film theory or film critiquing. So film production, and then minoring in theater, because they do require at University of Buffalo to do a minor. So I've chose theater to be my minor, which coincides with what I've been doing over the last couple of years. I've been doing a lot of film as an actor. I've done a few stage productions as an actor. But what I'm learning more value, try to word it right so I'm not stuttering. What I am learning with that gives me greater value is the production side of things on both the film and theater. So I'm learning not only better quality ways to do production of film, but I'm also learning set design and lighting design and um, sound design uh, for the theater aspect of things. So that's really a bonus for me. So to me, I'm getting a big overview of the whole media and arts world with UB. And it's not that I'm ignorant of any of it. It's just that I don't have some things, some skills, some um some things that I'm interested in what's the word I'm looking for? Learning, just having a better skill set. That's all. So I want to hone in those skills, get increase and better myself in my craft, and so on and so forth. So being a film critique artist as well is very important. So that is one aspect, film theory, that they try to put um, in the class curriculum. So film production, film theory, and theater design, tech theater. I did join a union locally for theater tech, IATSA 10, Buffalo, local 10, Buffalo, New York. So I'm part of that system now. Uh, the US ITT national group I joined, part of that, a membership with that, and also the local schools version. So I do have, like I said, experience doing film. Most of my experience came from radio, working more like, radio production, radio board operating, so to speak. I did radio personalities, so on and so forth. So I've done a lot of radio stuff. So that's still an interest I'll always have. Um, so so I'm gonna try to recap a little bit about this week, what happened in my world. I have just completed submission a couple days ago, um, for the the 4 points film project, and I'll go to that in a second. But what I want to do is, like, I want to bring a major announcement to anybody who has not tuned in to the so hang on one second. Okay. So I want to bring up to speed some people who don't know. One of our winners from last year, 2018, GLC FF 2018, won the best special effects, and he was third place in feature films, was The Red Resurrection. Now, a lot of people that do Christian films or do film festivals or whatever probably wouldn't have thought that this would fit in a Christian film setting. But there's an undertone in it. It's not blatant Christianity like some more mainstream popular films, something that maybe a TBN would broadcast. But it's it's a certain, it's like it's a new format for maybe the Christian world. I mean, I've seen a few people do like a Christian horror, suspense thriller, that kind of thing, but this is one of the first ones I've seen that they've done justice and they're doing very well with, is the zombies. Zombies are a big thing. Here in Western New York, we have the big film industry has been blowing up. And locally, we have a lot of people from Western New York getting work in acting and crew and all kinds of different elements because of the the industry's interest in not only filming in New York State, but specifically on our side of the state in Western New York, because it's so much cheaper than New York City to film. It's more space. There's more, smaller towns and a lot of other things we can offer that the city doesn't offer. Again, it's cheaper. It's cheaper than Westchester County or maybe Orange County. So a lot of productions are coming up here, and we're excited about that. But there's this, slasher films, if you want to call them that, are kind of like popular, and horror flicks and all that, as a lot of people probably have it. Zombies, that type of thing. And faith-based films really doesn't have a big, huge market here. Even though in Toronto, Cloud 10 Pictures had a big presence. For some reason, Western New York is just not that market yet. And this is one of my purposes for doing this film festival here is maybe inspire some people to do some faith-based films around here, either local or from outside the area. So anyways, here's a film about basically zombies. And I got the trailer. I just want to show you. Really excited about it. And Matt Long from Kentucky just got their distribution deal and finally was able to announce it this past week. November 12th is when it was released. But the movie's called The Red Resurrection. And I believe I got sound here. I'm going to play the trailer. And hopefully the sound works. So just please forgive me if it doesn't.
If I was that thin, then how am I me again?
Hurry up there, Doc! We injected you with an antitoxin, and that killed the plague, and it made you again.
And if you thought there was evil in the world before the plague, you've not seen what scared, starving men will do to stay alive.
I'm real glad I didn't kill you back in the woods. Oh, this is a whole lot more fun.
Trial and judgment await those who pursue deception.
Order! There must be order!
I can't promise that it won't be dangerous, because we don't live in that kind of world anymore.
We can't leave. Those things are out there. There's guys shooting at us out there. I can't go out there.
We didn't bring you back just to see you die. Again, we brought you back so you could live. Death, life, resurrection.
And there it is. So that's the release. Oh, Sonic the Hedgehog. This is not our. Sorry, Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay, so let me just put that so I can find them. There it is. Red Resurrection. So there you go. Anybody want to see something unique, a very different way of filmmaking? It's cool. I mean, I like to see more unique ways to spread the gospel and tell the story of the Bible in a different way that hasn't been told before. Some people might be a little bit standoffish about it or skeptical or even downright just flat out don't think that it's a viable way of telling the story. Just keep in mind, the only argument I can really make for it is that Christ spoke a lot of parables, and a lot of it was indirectly told to people outside of the realm of the spiritual, if you will. A lot of people were carnal minded that he spoke to. They were not spiritually minded. They didn't have the Holy Ghost or the knowledge of God, Jehovah for some people. So Christ spoke very differently to some people. He spoke in parables. And, some people question Christ and how, Jesus, why'd you talk like that? And he just says, listen, to them people, I'll talk like this, but to you, I'll tell you straight out. This is how I think. This is how I feel. This is what you should obey, the statutes and all that stuff. So Christ was a little bit different when he spoke to his disciples and especially his inner circle, and maybe even more in depth and direct with his top three or closest three disciples. But nevertheless, he did tell stories differently to some people outside of his discipleship. so that he can explain. Not necessarily double talk or talk around them, but that's kind of how he did it. So that's kind of how I feel about this, and that's why I felt this was a good, unique way of telling a story. And if I'm not mistaken, we have details on that on his website. Now, I'll refer you to him on that. But we'll go to my page here that we've created. But we've nominated him. They won Best Special Effects for a narrative feature last year. We also gave him a nomination for Best Narrative Feature, which he was basically in third place. Best Producer of a Narrative Feature, Matt Long. Best Actor in a Narrative Feature, David Harper, who was, see if I can find him in this. David Harper, where are you? Where is he? I think it's over here. Everything's kind of a dark tail right here. That's David Harper. So we gave him a nomination. And then Best Supporting Cast. So the whole cast in general, we felt were, that's not where I'm going to. We felt were really solid. So here's the page we got now. We just loaded that up the other day just so you guys have more details about this film and where you can get a hold of the film, to watch the trailer again, website, so on and so forth. So they were one of the winners. IMDb page. It's always a good thing to have. I always suggest anybody else that submits films to us over in the coming years, and if you can, go back to your Film Freeway pages. Always include your IMDb page, because that's a link that gives you value on their platform, especially with, especially with other industry people that look at stuff like that. Their IMDb is very important. Go to their page real quick. You kind of see their credits, their IMDb page. All right, there it is. Of course, we're not advertising Charlie's Angels, but it's on their page. Their production company is paying money, so they get that little spot. So, all right. So it's kind of a recap. Now, resurrected from a living death, a fearful and fractured young woman must overcome not only the memories of what she was, but what the monsters and men created by a deadly plague. So that's the storyline. Matt Long, director, writer, stars are in there once again. And again, they're released on DVD and on demand all over. So I believe it's on Amazon already. And just go check it out. You know what I mean? So there's all your actors. Matt Long looks like he's got a pro. I just updated my pro, by the way. Again. So if you can, check him out. Matt Long. He even played it. He starred in it in his own film. Thought that was kind of neat. Little cameo for himself. Build his IMDb. Let's see what else he's done. Well, we got the second here. There he is. Matt Long. Known for Resurrection. Looks like that's the only project that he's up there for as a director. As an actor. Not bad for a debut, huh? 2017 is when it was released. So he did a little bit of everything. Producer, editor, cinematographer, writer, actor, director. Good job. Matt Long. I actually asked if he could be on this call, this program, and he was not available. So not a problem. Unfortunately, we didn't have him on. But, I figured while we had a chance, we can get him on for a couple seconds, and it didn't work out. So just remember, go on to glcff.com. you can always go to films. And if I haven't already, I'm going to create a link. But all these films should be listed per year, if I'm not mistaken. Here's like the link for each year's submissions. And if you go to GLCFF 18, you'll see here's a list of all the films that were in that year. So, and there's only a few of them from last year that I put on there. So, as you can see, a lot goes into going into these type of events that people create. A lot of people are requesting some of their awards and stuff that they won, and I really apologize for it. Literally, since the festival ended, it's been nonstop for me. So getting a couple days to sit down for a second usually ends up me sleeping because I'm so busy. The first thing is, as soon as our festival was done, we made preparations for the Buffalo's 48-hour film project, which if I don't have that up there yet, I will. But this is the 4 points. But the 48-hour film project is international, for I think 140 different teams or cities around the world. Filmapalooza is going to be in Netherlands in March. Cannes Film Festival is a part of it as well. We tied in, this organization tied into it. So, yeah, a little commercial for them. But literally every weekend after GLCFF is Buffalo's 48-hour film project. So that's what I jumped to right away. And long story short, after that, I was in Georgia for 2 weeks, nonstop. It's family vacation, spending time in Georgia and Florida. And literally the day I came back, I'm already going to classes for school at UB. And again, this is my second year back. So once that's done, hopefully I'm back to just focusing on this. But you never know. I mean, everybody else that knows, being a creative or being in the industry of any kind like this, you're always busy doing something. You're never without something to do. So here we go. We got school. And then last weekend, I did the 4 points. That's what I was showing you here. The 4 points film project, which is tied in with the 48-hour film project. So this year, let's see, proof right there. Here's the weekend, November 8th through the 11th. It's the one we attended. I put in the fee. I created a team, and they all came out of nowhere. I mean, it was great. I had no team initially. I thought I was going to do it all by myself with maybe 1 or 2 people helping as actors or whatever. A couple people said they would like to do it, but they can't. So all of a sudden, other people that I'd never worked with before showed up. And I was blessed, man. All I was going to say is that we had a great time. Yeah. I mean, I even got the, on our IMDb, gotta find mine, I think. Give me a second here. Where do I have it? 4 points. Did I put it up here? After All is the name of our, yep. All right, so I'll put up here first. This is the actual page I created for my Buffalo 48-hour film team. I call it a team. We call it Too Much Bowl. That was the name of our team. And the film we called After All. All right. So the tagline is, a small group of people learn to cope with PTSD. Simple, right? Doesn't give anything away. All right. Little introduction. All right. The team, what we're doing it for, and so on and so forth. and a little description of how we put the team together. A little still shot of Paula that opened it up for us, Slate. And here were the film requirements for our team. It's actually for the whole East time zone in the United States, with the exception of the genre. Each team had their own genres for our time zone, but the rest of these elements were every team in our time zone. So, film requirements, we were given action, adventure, or period piece. So, we kind of chose a little bit of both. Hopefully, that is portrayed in the film. The character we chose, we gave Lorena Hamill, who was a nurse. The line was, "What's that noise?" or "What is that noise?" So I believe "What's that noise?" was in it. And then the prop, it was a lint roller. All right. Team members. Myself as a producer, director, editor. And again, it's the first time putting together a real solid team without me having to do any other crew work. And that alleviated me, or relieved me, so that I can focus on these elements here up top: producer, director, editor. Producer meaning spending money, also paperwork. Director meaning working with all the actors and making sure lines and facial features or whatever, kind of is glued together right. And an editor, as in post production, after all the elements were done, put it all together. Director of photography was a phenomenal guy, Ben Chatfield, out of Rochester. Sound recorder is another awesome talent, Derek Edgerton II, here in Buffalo. His father came out in with lights and did some behind the scenes camera work. Amanda Hill came down with Ben from Rochester to help out, production assistant, and another local gentleman, Alan Warren, who I've worked with a couple times on other things. Actually, just one time with something. This is the second time I've worked with him, and he actually did awesome. He did most of the slate, plus he acted in it. We had some writers. What we did is just kind of do Google Docs, and we just opened it up, and we just started collaborating on a script Friday night when we got our elements. That was the 8th. And then Saturday morning, we woke up, looked at the script. All right, this is what we're doing. And we were rolling. So I had a schedule. I had all these different places set up, and a couple of them were just like last minute setups, and it worked out good. These are cast, and I have to say, these guys were awesome, especially this guy down here. I'm just kidding. Michael Ciesla, I think that's how you pronounce it, was awesome. And I'm not going to share with you too much about what we did, but he did a monologue to me that was outstanding, and I was really happy with him. And he's a seasoned actor, SAG eligible. Good thing is nobody here was SAG, but we had Michaels and Patsy Silver, Krista Finelli are both SAG eligible actors, and I'm still there. I'm almost there. I'm getting there. So these are people that made it happen. And our filming locations was the Dog Ears bookstores in South Buffalo, Buffalo Fire Station over in Larkinville, district in Buffalo, and then Swan Street Diner right across the street from that fire station. Plus, it was at my house, and I didn't put my address on there for a reason. And in the beginning of this podcast, we showed Howie Feldstein. How you like that? He was pretty funny. And we got the links to all of our things here. So I think I put the IMDb for myself here. Right? There's my cell phone. That's my business cell phone. So that's okay if everybody calls it. Most of the time, I'm going to have it off. And I'll go to the messages later. So here I am. I finally updated it again. Got my IMDb Pro status back up, and I'm almost at 219,000. Okay, getting close. So at least it's on a rise. It's not on a downfall. One of the things I was just in as a featured extra was Coldbrook, which is William Fichtner and Kim Coates. There's After All, this our little picture of, or still picture of like the behind the scenes. Mr. Imagination was another 48-hour film project. The first one I actually attended in 2017. Message in a Bottle is another 2017 release. So I was filmed, I think, in 2015 or 2013. I can't remember. So, but here's a list of stuff that I've done, and I'm still working on making it a bigger impact. But this would have been good if this guy decides to release this film and let us know about it and actually pay me for it, which he didn't. He gave me a bounce check, so he still owes me money. I'm a little upset with that one, but I still haven't heard of a release of it and nothing. No, none of us have here in Western New York. It was filmed up in Niagara Falls and parts of Buffalo, and the guy that produced it from Alberta, Canada, has yet to get us in the loop here. So I don't know what's going on. Had some pretty cool people in it. Bill Brown, good local actor, Scottman, and a couple other local actors, actresses that got involved. So let's just see what the release date is. Not that this is Christian filmmaking, but these are the projects that are allotted to me here in Western New York. That's kind of the point. Starting off doing film here in Buffalo, that was what I've noticed, is that there's really nothing going on here that can be even close to being Christian. Except for a couple of them. Let's see. Of course, White Irish Drinkers was my first big film, independent film, but first big background actor contribution. So that was a big deal for me. But let's see, a couple independents that I've created, a couple other independents locally. Fiance Killer. Now that was the first one that actually became a release on the Lifetime, and I was uncredited in that, but I'm in that one. So you barely see me, but I had a couple snapshots of that. I got first Purge. You Never Seen Me. I was basically in a muck and mire of smoke and everything. You can never see anything. I had a mask on, or not a mask, but I was like tucked behind a pickup. So, but hey, I got paid. And this one is a local one that's on its way, hopefully, to be released. This was the 48-hour film project I did with some Christians locally here in Buffalo. And then Coldbrook was the Kim Coates and William Fichtner movie that was filmed last year. 2 years ago, I'm sorry, and then released last year. While We Were Waiting was my own film that I did as a background actor. While we were in a background holding area, I just made a funny short. Pastor Greg's Reboot. Now, it's sort of a faith-based film. But it's not quite focused on faith-based as much. Definitely not. Stage Killer was another good little shot I got at a local. This actually got on Netflix. So if you ever look at Stage Killer, you'll see an image of me inside like a television control board. You get a nice little shot of me there. Another short for Buffalo 48. And then here's our short for the 4 Points film project that we did. All right, so that was in a nutshell, Buffalo 48 film, 4 Points. So that's kind of what I did. It's been doing. I mean, just trying to stay busy, really. And I'm really excited that we have these kinds of opportunities to at least work with local people that are in film and people that are from the outside coming in trying to be, background actor, whatever we can locally get into. But I really, really want to do a faith-based film here in Western New York. And I have to, I mean, I can't rely on anybody else, it seems, to want to do this. People are telling me, hey, if you come up with $2 million, I'll come out there and shoot a film for you. I'm like, listen, if I had $2 million, I'll shoot a film. As a matter of fact, if I had $2 million, I'd probably shoot 10 films. You know what I mean? At $200,000 budgets. And then I start my own streaming company and so on and so forth. So, but yes, I mean, I'm going to do everything I can to try to produce something. But ultimately, people who are masters at the game, I would like to have them here because it brings credibility. It also brings people's money to see the movie. So that's what I'm working on. In the meantime, I'm in school, getting my bachelor's, getting my, my expertise up, my skill sets up. Doing my part to try to make things happen. You know what I mean? At least for my region. I'm excited that I'm excited that we have these people coming from the outside in, and I would like to bring them in somehow, fundraise for even the independents to come out and maybe to come out and make some films seen locally. We got a lot of talented people in this area, so I don't want to let that talent go to waste, and I definitely want to see, like I said, more faith-based ideas come to this table here in Western New York. So if you got an idea, I'm looking for you. Come on out. I mean, I got a house. I mean, I got a couch to surf on if it the worst case scenario for crew or actors or whatever. We can figure all that out. So I want to do that. I'm going to keep working on at least trying to do it on my own. I do want to mention, though, okay, for all those other people that know about the 48-hour film project, and for the people who do not know about it, it's a great competition to be involved in. It's basically like it's like boot camp for filmmaking. It forces you to do something within that 48 hours, and the 4 points was 77 hours total, but it forces you to do something, and it's ideal for people who are just sitting on the fence like, oh, I wish I could do this, blah blah blah. The 48-hour film project is great for that. And you don't necessarily have to write films that are faith-based all the time, but if that's all you want to do, that's fine. Get it into the 48-hour. It's a good opportunity for, hey, if anything, it'll bring your message out to an audience that may not necessarily ever hear a message about Christ or anything to that effect. But, and I don't like to keep everything so tight knit that we don't allow anything else, ideas and stuff from outside. We can kind of get into a Christian bubble when it comes to our product. And I come from a background of the music industry, and I've seen the promotion of music as a radio promoter and a radio per kind of like a little bit everything. I did announcing, I did programming, I did all kinds of different radio stuff. So from that background, music promotion to radio as well. sometimes Christian stuff can get into the Christian bubble and forget about that there's other people out there that have never heard of what they're doing, and they don't know how to communicate to them, to non-Christian people, about their message. It's great to inspire and encourage the church, but it's also good to know how to speak the language of the people outside the church. So sometimes Christian films can get that way. I'm noticing that. Like I said, I've been reviewing films for 6 years now, and it's there's a lot of the same ideas as the music side of things. Is that you'll get in this bubble of I'm speaking to the church, and like I said in the watch the beginning of this, the Red Resurrection is a great example of not being in that bubble. So just leave it at that. But if you are in the bubble and you like to stay in a bubble, that's okay too, because the church needs encouragement, the church needs inspiration, the church needs to be uplifted, encouraged, exhorted. There's all kinds of purposes for being in reaching too with your product. I do have a suggestion. If the 48-hour film project is not something you want to get into, which is I still highly suggest it, then there's also a Christian version of it. And I believe this has been around for a while, if I'm not mistaken. I think one of them was one of the things I want to say was 2008, 2009, the very latest 2009. I think I seen it first time. They had this competition to do a short film that was about cereal. Now, many of you that might have entered it might remember that. It was new to me. I didn't realize there was Christian film festivals like that. Where you can do a small competition. I didn't have the materials. I didn't enter. I've been sitting on the fence because I didn't really think that I can do any of this. Going back to college, going to the university, learning this stuff, now I feel like I can do this stuff. No problem. Maybe not no problem, but there's always problems. But I want to bring up one of my rivals. It's not even a good word for it. Another Christian film festival that has been around a lot longer than mine, the Christian Worldview Film Festival. They have their competition, 2020 CWVFF 48-hour film race, they call it. That's what they're doing. So Christian Worldview Film Festival, 48-hour film race. Here you go, guys. They are doing it. I guess they've been on a break, but they're relaunching it. They already opened up the window as of November 11th, 2019. Actually, the deadline was the first early bird one was November 11th. So December 9th is the next deadline to register your team. And it starts January 3rd. So if you're interested in being a part of this, I suggest you guys jump in. I'm also going to put this out there. And after doing 3 48-hour film projects and one online version of it, so 4 total, I am prepared to start one also for Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. It might not be this year, might be next year, but I'm prepared to start one as well. So just keep that in mind. We're going to start that possibly for 2021. I don't want to get overwhelming with this, but this is a great thing. Let me see if I can play this real quick, and I don't know if the audio will play, but it's a 3-minute trailer, it looks like.
Oh, hello there, fellow filmmakers. I'm on a personal quest to find the best 48-hour short films. That's right, we're back and better than ever.
That's right. The CWVFF 48-hour film race returns on Friday, January the 3rd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And this year, it's a flat rate for all teams. So whether you have 5 people or 50, everyone pays the same amount.
Well, don't leave us hanging. How much is it? When is it? Who is it for?
It's for all filmmakers, new or experienced. Early registration is just $100 per team, and it opens today, running through November the 11th.
Regular registration is $150. It starts November 12th and ends December 9th.
Late registration is $200 per team, and it runs from December the 10th through December the 30th.
Wow. How does everyone know what's going on except me? Was there like an email I missed or something?
We even have a sponsor this year.
Who?
We have partnered with Motion University, who has something they would like to say.
Hey everyone, we're super excited to be partnering with the Christian Worldview Film Festival and the 40-hour film race for something very special. At Motion University, we're passionate about giving people the tools, knowledge, and resources to build a sustainable career in film. The film race is a great opportunity to hone your filmmaking skills and learn how to work with a deadline.
As part of the film race this year, all teams who sign up will be receiving exclusive film training content from Motion University to help you make the best 48-hour film you possibly can. This will include some of our favorite tips and tricks, as well as free filmmaking resources, all geared towards your level of expertise.
And this year, the rewards are even better. The grand prize has been increased to $1,000, including $500 towards any of our online training courses and $500 cash. On top of that, there'll also be a second place prize this year, so you definitely don't want to miss out. Hope to see you in the competition.
Thanks, Andrew and Hannah. Yeah, we are so excited about this partnership with Motion University as it benefits everyone.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Benefits everyone sounds like code for benefits the event.
By partnering with Motion University, we are able to give the winner the best remote film career training out there. If you're serious about taking your filmmaking to the next level, Motion University is a great next step.
Wow. Well, if only I had listened first, I would have learned that it actually means awesome benefit with no downside. Well, with this in mind, I need to know, where do I sign up and how do I read all of these details in one easy to access place?
I'm glad you asked. Just go to www.cwvff.com/48 to see all the details. Everything you need to know is right there.
Awesome. Well, we will see you again January 3rd to tell you the 3 mystery requirements for your film. We'll see you all then. Bye.
So there you have it, folks. Looks like that's going to be a fantastic event. And I'm really, Motion University, never heard of them, but I'm really glad that these guys are doing that. Really excited about it. So who knows? Because I'm off the semester in January, I might even do this one too. Why not? You know, if I got the idea, if I got the skills, if I got the team, then I'm going to do it. So their element's a little different than the 48s. See if I can get to their page. Okay, contact. Get back to this other page. There it is. So this one, give me a second. Finish up. I'm going to finish up this podcast with this. Just want to talk about it a little bit. The goals, okay, it's already on their website. Christian Worldview Filmfestival.com, 48-hour film race rules. I might even put a link in there for you. So the goals, the teams, registration, what we're allowed to do beforehand. India. What we're allowed to do beforehand: select the crew, the cast, brainstorm, plan shooting days, scouting locations, creating some assets like sound effects, music works. You know, anybody can't see it. Sound effects, music works, pre-keyed visual elements, effects elements, motion graphics, templates, logos. So you are allowed to do that before this festival. What you're not allowed to do is write a script or shoot footage. That's it. Wow, that's not too bad. It actually seems like it's a little bit better than 48 already. During the race, though, all right, there's going to be a live stream. At the end of it, they'll give the elements. So apparently, everybody's going to do the same elements. 3 requirements. And here's some ideas. 3 elements are the theme verse. In other words, probably something based on John 3:16, for instance. The film's credit in the film's credits. Each film must include the text based upon the film's the theme verse reference. So they're going to give out the theme verse. Let's say they say, "Oh, John 3:16 is the verse." So we got to put that in the film credits. The goal is not just to mention the scripture, but to make each story fully centered around the truth of God's word. All right. And then the mystery making elements, type of shot, techniques. So there's a restriction. That's cool. That's kind of a neat thing. One specific element of filmmaking will either be required or prohibited. Now, prohibited will be an interesting challenge. That's interesting. I like that idea. Because you really got to think about where you're shooting, who you're shooting, so on and so forth. Mystery story requirement or restriction as well. Wow. So this is going to be fun. Technical requirements, 3 to 7 minutes. All films will be within a 5-second slate. Okay. They'll have certain elements in the title, and it will be screened at their festival. So there you go. Christian Filmmaking with Shawn Patrick Greene. So go for it. Anybody who's interested in being a part of the Christian Worldview 2020 48-hour film race, jump on. I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to jump on it. So hope to see you guys doing all that too. So this has almost been an hour and nobody's chimed in. I'm not sure what's going on Saturday nights. I don't know what Christians do on Saturday nights. Maybe they're just preparing their sermons for tomorrow. I have no idea. But I'm not a pastor. So I'm assuming Bible teachers and so on and so forth. I've had my share of preparing the day before, so I understand. I'm in the worship band, but I'm a drummer, so all I got to learn and remember is my beat and some of the, arrangements, so to speak. So, but I'm gonna let you guys go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This is my very first show, and it's kind of like our pilot show. This is the concept. This is the idea. This is what we're going to be doing. The set's going to be different behind me. The lighting's going to be different. The content is going to be different. The whole idea is to have an update, at the very least on a monthly basis. But I'm going to try to do a couple episodes in a month's time, just based on people's availability. So Matt Long couldn't share with us about his film. He was a long day today. So hopefully we'll get him on next time. But we're going to get you guys on this show. So I want to know more about what you guys are up to, what you like to talk about, and talk about some of our winners from the past couple years. Is that cool? Awesome. Remember, glcff.com. We're going to go once again next August 2020 for the Great Lakes Christian Film Festival. So you can submit right there at the website. I'm Shawn Patrick Greene, and this is Christian Filmmaking with Shawn Patrick Greene. Keep it locked.